Jack's wild.
Okay.
Ozzy?
Yeah?
Your poker face is fine, but you really need to work on your poker butt. Full house.
Pair of fours.
I give up. Why is strip poker supposed to be so interesting?
Haven't the foggiest.
I've decided that being nice is an overrated character trait.
Oh?
Sure. I mean, you have to ask if someone is just nice, or truly good. A lot of people are only nice because they're terrified to have anyone think badly of them. Sometimes, to do what's right, you have to risk not being popular. The civil rights movement would never have happened if everyone involved had being nice as their highest priority.
So this explains why you filled Felicia's desk with whipped cream?
It was a moral stand somebody had to take.
Maybe you're right that being nice isn't always laudable, but I also think our society could use a bit more civility. I mean, you hear it everywhere. Anyone who disagrees with me is either evil or stupid. So few people make any room for honest differences. Someone who's truly secure in their beliefs shouldn't feel threatened by dissent.
I suppose. But what if someone's beliefs consist of me grog? Me beat up nerd?
If you're asking whether you have to be understanding toward Jeremy, the answer is no.
Hey, today you got a red tray.
What?
Red. You got a red tray.
Sorry, what?
You have a red tray today. Well, now I look stupid.
What?
This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful because
my dad sculpted an especially good tofu turkey this year.
Nerds are easier to catch after they eat a lot.
Let's see. What are the other kids putting this year?
in another decade, I'll be legally old enough that nobody can make me do pointless classroom busy work. Not that I'm naming names.
You wanted to see me, Dr. Von Sinek?
Yes, Principal. I've been monitoring the students, and there's one here who might fit the profile of a disturbed, potentially dangerous child. He's a straight A student, but he wears black clothes, has never signed up for a sport, and avoids most other boys. I think we should check up on him.
I have an appointment with who?
You managed to get sent to the school psychiatrist before me? I feel like such a failure.
Yes, ma'am?
Hello, Ozymandias. Come in and sit down. Now, before we begin, I'd like to emphasize that you're not in any kind of trouble. This is just a meeting to, say, isn't there a school rule that mandates the wearing of pants?
I checked. No.
So tell me a little about your family, Ozymandias. What do your parents do?
I just have a dad. He's a large, independently wealthy red Celtic dragon, with a magic couch.
I see. How about voices? Have you been hearing any?
Here's a family photo. I carry it to avoid mix-ups like, say, me getting committed.
So how is your relationship with the other children?
I'd be lying if I said I was popular.
Does that bother you?
Sometimes, but I have one good friend who understands me. That makes a huge difference. I mostly just regret my place in the playground social order when I'm being stuffed in trash cans by healthy, well-adjusted, all-American young men.
On behalf of the American Elementary School Establishment, ouch.
I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't out of line.
Thank you for coming in, Ozzy.
Nice meeting you, Dr. Vonsinek.
And thank you for reminding me that the stereotypical model of the disturbed outsider child is really mostly hype.
My pleasure.
Kids like you have a hard enough time in school without being vilified for failure to be Beaver Cleaver. Anytime you need a hand, just ask.
Is the weird kid gone yet? Was he armed? Should I call the bomb squad?
Granted, sometimes it's an uphill battle. Look, Ozymandias is a nice boy. He's not a threat to anybody.
We need to take every precaution.
Do the posters in the classrooms that read Celebrate Diversity mean anything to you?
Can't you prescribe something that'll make him a bit more like a normal kid?
You mean like that Jeremy boy?
Exactly.
I suppose we could give him growth hormones and drop him on his head.
Hold on, I'll run that by our lawyers. Hi, Dad. I met the school psychiatrist today.
You did? Nothing catastrophic, I hope?
No, just sort of a checkup to make sure I'm not a terrorist.
Ah, a sign of these hysterical times. Of course, I got something similar as a lad. Our school made an arrangement with the legendary Dr. Sigmund Freud. I recall the ominous little pieces of paper sent to children in the schoolhouse, proclaiming that the doctor expected a visit.
Please tell me you didn't call them.
Freudian slips.
So does Dr. Von Sinek think you're crazy?
Nope.
You're sure she's a licensed psychiatrist?
This from the girl who recently invented bowl of oatmeal frisbee. Dr. Von Sinek was actually pretty understanding.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I'm glad adults in power can sometimes be reasonable.
You're saying we should sedate the kids?
Well, creativity is such a handicap in today's adult world. Come on, doctor. You said yourself there's nothing wrong with sometimes using medication to help kids.
Sure, when there's a real chemical problem, and in conjunction with counseling. Being different is not an illness.
If we don't teach them to conform, they'll never make it as adults.
You can't just eliminate any inconvenience with mind alterants. I'm going to go have a beer.
Okay, how about school uniforms?
School uniforms?
Sure. It's a major trend in education right now. It's all the rage. And it could help instill a healthy spirit of conformity for years to come.
Well, uniforms could counter the unhealthy fashion hierarchy in the school. Kids could focus on personalities rather than appearances.
So we're agreed?
All right, but if I sign off on this, no more talk of making the school drinking fountain squirt Prozac. Am I the only one who?
No.
So that's your school uniform. Yeah. Goodness. Don't you look, I can't lie. You look like a dweeb. You can't? What did you do, sleep through law school?
This uniform thing totally sucks. These clothes are geeky. In fact, they're worse than geeky, they're generic. How could anyone be cool in this? I mean, what could possibly be worse than having to go to school dressed this way?
Having to wear this and listen to you complain?
See, that's another thing. I'm scared it might eventually make me annoying. I'm telling you, Stefan, you don't know what it's like having your coolness taken away like this. Sure I do. How could you? You were geeky to start with. You forget, geeks are the new rebels. Punks and jocks still pose as if they're cool. But it's geeks who are the real nonconformists, outcasts, and techno-anarchists. I don't want to dress like a tool of the establishment. No. You just want to finish school and get rich working for a big mainstream software corporation. Precisely. Fight the power.
You know, I'm actually starting to warm to this whole uniform thing. At first it made me feel like a geek. But some of the benefits outweigh that.
How so?
I hate this. Now it's impossible to tell who's cool and who's not. Who are we going to make fun of?
Ah.
The kids' holiday vacation has officially begun. Now.
Yes. For a child, it's a time for absolution from responsibility, a time for boundless hope. It's a time for the sort of unbridled magic that, in our adult years, becomes tangentially elusive. It's a time for
extra strength earplugs. Mom, where do we keep the Elmer's glue? Wait. Forget I said anything.
There can be no doubt about it, the suburban air is thick with holiday spirit. Everywhere you look, the usual holiday staples abound. Bright, festive lights and decorations. Store windows with both religious and secular messages of good cheer. Avery losing his already tenuous grip on reality. I've got that whole naughty or nice thing nailed this year. Avery, what do you have to remember? Image is everything. Santa's watching to see if I'm naughty or nice, but in this media-saturated age, does nice even exist anymore? Now what's important is the image of nice. My focus groups indicated that this motif best projects that image. I'm too smart for Santa this year. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe your focus groups hate your guts?